Hey, bro, if you do the cooking and the dishes, that is definitely love. What's good, y'all? It's your boy Dyson Knight. Yo! I'm about to hit y'all with a hard one. Heavy topic on the Sup'm show today. How to love a woman. And I did the dumbest thing because I put all my notes inside the phone and I using the phone to go live. So I'm winging it. My co-host, Dr. Kent Bazard. Shout out to Empire Fitness. Juan Knowles. Three brave men are going to attempt to answer this question. Well, no, it's not really a question. We're going to give our views on loving women. I guess you can spin that and turn that into however you want to use it in terms of loving another person. What up, Juan?
Boy, on that.
So you see what I was saying when I was saying what I said. This one could go in many different directions. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the point is, we feel as though the women should be loved.
You sound like a preacher slash poet.
Cue the music there. Put the man on the piano. Oh, you remember your first love?
Yeah.
I think I was 7 or 8.
11, 12.
Here's a quick story about my first love. I'm only guessing the age because I know we was really into Sesame Street back then. And she lived across the street from my uncle's girlfriend. And I used to go there all the time. I mean, she's the most beautiful girl on the block. Well, I thought so.
You thought so.
And, I got her phone number, my first number. I would call the house. We'd have a little chit chat, talk about things. And this one day, I called the house around 5 o'clock. And they said she couldn't come to the phone. And I was like, wait, what is this? So I was heartbroken. Sesame Street stole my first girlfriend.
Ernie and Bert was on it, boy.
Yeah, so what I did at 7 or 8 years old to show her love, I called the radio station and I sent out a request. I can't remember the song that I requested, but I bold at 7 or 8, called the radio station and sent out a request to this young lady.
What the DJ say when you sent it? This one here's coming in from
They thought it was the cutest thing.
you know how the radio DJs and now so how the this one here's coming from Dyson. You don't even know the hell you're talking about.
That was my first love experience, man. And then it was pretty much downhill from there. No, I mean uphill. Wait, depends on how you look at it. If you like the beach and you like the ocean, you want to go downhill to the ocean, right? If you like the freezing cold and the blizzards, you want to go uphill.
Yeah.
From your first love. All right. So we're talking how to love a woman. So that's my point one. Sending out a song request. Because I just did this for my wife the other day. I saw something on YouTube. Brian McKnight was singing live. Still was the name of the song. And I sent it to her and I said, hey, this is my dedication to you for the day. Tell me that's not love.
Go ahead, Ken, tell him.
Well, you see, I'm not going to get any help out of y'all today.
Hey, guess what? He late. So since he late, that's his penalty.
Yeah.
This is gonna be a horrendous show, man. Because this is gonna be a terrible show. Because and I just told the wife said, if y'all prepare, I say, prepare what? I ain't prepare nothing.
I don't need to prepare to give information on how men love women. I mean, all right, so let's start the show. This is actually the official start of the show. My name is Dyson Knight, international recording artist, songwriter. I got Dr. Kent Bazard. Introduce yourself.
How you doing, guys? I am Dr. Kent Bazard. International Kent Bazard, and that's it.
No, man, you got Empire Fitness, the sports fitness. Come on.
I am a sports medicine physician, sports performance trainer, and I am the owner of Empire Sports Medicine and Empire Fitness.
Excellent. And the main man, Juan
Knowles, owner of Knowles Reform here in West Palm Beach. We service the West Palm Beach area, Miami area, Fort Lauderdale area, all throughout South Florida. Business owner for 15 years.
Boom. All right. So this is what's up. I feel that there is a serious need for men to talk about and speak out loudly what it is we do that demonstrates what we feel inside as it pertains to loving women. In my personal experience, and this isn't in my relationship experience, my life experience, a lot of times women don't get it. If I, Jeff popped on early, he said he does the cooking and also the dishes. Now, for men, I think probably where we go wrong is we look at one thing or one section of things, and we feel as if we consistently, ensure that these things are taken care of, that should be enough for a woman to know that she is loved. Correct me if I'm wrong. We do physical things. We fix things. We maintain things. Take care of the car. Just jumped inside the wife's car the other day, took it for a drive because she said the check tire pressure was on. These are the type of things that we do. And I didn't do it. She's on right now, right? I want my wife to know that I didn't do it because I like tires.
You did it because when it comes time for you to use the car, you want it right.
I did it because I care. And when I jump in the car, I realized that the car was pulling hard to the left. And I was like, geez, that must have been working her arm really, really hard. And I felt bad because I was like, I probably should have checked this a long time ago because when I put the air in the tire, everything's running way, way more smooth. So what men do is and women don't, I don't think women realize this, but the things that we do actually makes their day-to-day life and the going-ons in their life so much easier, but they don't realize it. Because if I had fixed it the minute she said that the light came on, the warning light came on, she would not have known what it was to have this extra muscle strength in her left arm. So now when she gets back in the car and she realized her arm is super strong and she doesn't realize why it's so much more easier to move this car, I'm not going to get any thanks for that. But love made that happen.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah, you want me to take the heat off you for a little bit, just slightly?
Yeah, I mean, y'all can talk. Yeah, come with what you have, and then give me an example of what you do.
Here's my thing. We were talking about first loves, and I want us to go back to that later. But
all right.
When
glasses.
In the past, ever since we announced this topic, right? And I've just listened, and I've listened to what my wife said, what other people said. When I post this, I got some messages. When I post this on WhatsApp, I got some messages. And my thing is, I don't think that you can pin down love to housework. And it seems as if I'm going to be the first one, because since y'all scared to throw any punch, I can be the first one to throw a punch.
I'll follow up with the comments. Go ahead.
My question is, why is it always boiling down to some type of work inside the house? Suppose you don't have a house. Suppose you're not married yet, you don't have kids. Suppose you're in a long distance relationship. You understand what I'm saying? So how do you demonstrate your love then? You know what I mean? So it's got to be more than just clean the yard and take out the garbage and rock the kids to sleep. It's got to be more than that. Because anybody can do that and despise you, right? Your wife can do that. Your wife can cook. Your wife can cook for you and clean for you and still despise you, right?
And still kicks your guts. Absolutely.
Go for it.
So I think it needs to be a little. I think we need to look deeper than just superficial action, because anybody can do an action if they feel pressured to do the action. They can just do the action for doing its sake. I always tell my wife. She always in the beginning, like years ago, she used to be like the flowers thing. Like, she's not a Valentine's Day person either, right? She's not a Valentine's Day person. But she would say, flowers are more meaningful to me if you just send them without me having to say something, which is great. But I always said, I don't see flowers as a big demonstration of love at all. Anybody can call the flower company and buy the biggest, most beautiful bouquet and send it to somebody.
Boy, I ain't doing that. But
And
go
it
ahead.
looks and it looks great. It looks beautiful. But what it could mean absolutely nothing. It could just mean that I want to get you in bed. You know what I mean? So
True.
I think that
Let's keep that note too. But go ahead.
I think that men, and I do have a word. I do have an action, but I'm going to say it later. But I think that men need to realize first that showing your wife real love has to go beyond just doing some action. I mean, when I say action, I'm talking about chores around the house or stuff like that. That's what I'm talking about. But I do have an action word that I'm going to mention later. I have an action word of how to love your wife. One word. But you want me to say it now? Or you want me to say it later?
Keep that one in the chamber, man.
No, I mean, yeah, keep it in the chamber. But I want you to bring that. I want you to bring that to a close, though. I mean, or at least give us a clue. If it's not the physical things that you can do, if it's not throwing money at her, or go ahead. What is it? What is it in the realm of?
If you're doing this action, you'll always know what to do.
Okay.
Because it's not the same for some wives don't care if you don't take out the garbage or not. Some wives don't care.
So what the round is before?
I think the round is just because it's smelly and it's garbage. That's the reason. It's not because you know what I mean? I do believe that some jobs I should do and some jobs my wife should do. I don't think my wife should take out the garbage. It happens more often than I want it to happen.
So you're saying that these things is a work responsibility, not a show of love, not a demonstration of love.
I think a demonstration is different from when we say how to.
Right.
I think a demonstration is different because a demonstration can be sincere or insincere.
Okay.
I can buy the biggest. I can buy, if I got $4 million to buy a ring, does that mean I love the woman? Well, maybe $4 million is a stretch. But let's just say if I have a lot of money and I have enough money to buy, say, a piece of jewelry for a female, does that mean I love her?
Right.
Some women interpret that as love, and some women don't at all. I don't interpret that as love. It may be a demonstration of affection.
I totally get where you're coming from. I just wanted to make sure that I get it just a bit more clear in case anyone didn't follow. So Juan, what you got to offer this before we start picking everything apart?
Oh boy, here we go. To me, in my opinion, women and men, they love differently, man. In my opinion, right? A woman doesn't have the ability to love you as deep as a man has to love you. In my opinion. Because
the party start now.
Yeah, of course it's not. I'm saying what I got to say. Because I'm gonna tell you why. Now, this doesn't apply to every woman. Of course, there are exceptions to the rules. Okay. But stop providing for that woman and see how deep her love goes for you. Stop providing for the household and see how deep her love goes for you. Now, once again, I'm not saying this is not every woman now. So, ladies in the comment section, relax. We ain't talking about all of y'all. If this does not apply to you, then you have no reason to respond crazy, so to speak. It's just not
all of y'all.
point. For instance, there's very few females out there willing to go through it with you when you were nothing to something. I see the comments, boy. I see the what, all that. It's all good. But I'm gonna say
I think she's responding to something else.
Listen, there's very few females out there that's willing to go through it with you when you're nothing to something, to becoming that person who they value.
Yeah.
Okay. Very few, bro. Okay. That's why I say the majority of women, they love based on what you can provide for them. We men, we love just out of loving. It's just how we were bred. For instance, another example, maybe off topic a little bit, right? A woman can go to a woman can go. Listen, a woman can go to school for mad years, right? get all
Right.
type of degrees, and have all type of, advancements in the office space and become a manager. We don't care about none of that, bro. We as men, I don't
Mm.
care how much degrees you have. You could have more
Facts.
degree, you could have more degrees than a thermometer for all I care. That doesn't matter to me. Because guess what? The most simplest thing is what make us men happy. Simplicity,
Wh-
bro. Simplicity make us happy. Oh, listen,
What? What is it?
what's
What is simple things like what makes us
bro?
happy?
A simple thing like what we do, just say thank you sometimes. We don't need
Mm.
sex all the time.
Hmm.
Bro, you'll be surprised. Those little two words, thank you, will go a long way to us men.
Hmm.
It ain't all about laying you down in bed and having a good night with you intimately all the time. I don't need to be repaid for that all the time. Because a lot
So,
of
so,
times, let's be honest, sometimes that's thrown at you for manipulation purposes.
so the things that we do and we think we're doing it because we love, and this is kind of like beyond what you just said. If it's not received in gratitude, does that change our desire to love? And if it does change the desire to love, then was it really love to begin with?
Say that again, buddy. I'm sorry, your phone break up on my end.
Oh, sorry. The things that we do to show love, if it's not met with appreciation or like a thanks, gratitude, does that, well, it's not even a question. I can see how that would reduce our desire to do these things, right? Because there's no
Absolutely.
appreciation, there's no gratitude. But if we're doing these things and gratitude is what fuels us to continue doing it, is it truly love that made us do it in the beginning, from the get-go?
From a man's perspective,
Yeah, from a man's perspective.
well, not all, in my opinion, it's not only because you love the lady who you with, but as a man, you feel these are things that you should be obligated to do. You know what I
Right,
mean? Like this is something
right.
that, like Ken said, there's certain things that's delegated to the men in the household, outside of the household, and there's certain things that's for the females. I would never want her to do certain things, and the other way around also. But like I said, the most simplest things is all we require. But you'll be surprised how hard that is to get out of a female, but yet on the back end, they expect the world. Does that make
I
sense?
mean, yeah, I totally get it. Before we move on, though, can't mention this one word. I'd like if uh, uh, the viewers watching, Ken said there's one word that men do that shows love, and if you do it, then it wouldn't be a surprise as to what the word is. Is that what it
I
is?
said,
Just one
I
word that we
said,
waiting on?
I said there's one action
One action.
that would
Right.
demonstrate that I, in my opinion, I said once you do this action, you'd always know how to demonstrate your love.
Right. So I want people in the comment section to just drop that one word, because I saw Wendy drop loyalty in there. I want all of, especially the women, to drop, and men, to drop that what you think that one word is, because I think that would open up a lot of ideas as to what people are expecting and what people value.
There you go.
Um,
I just dropped mine.
That's two words, bro.
so, well, both of you said, a person could just be doing stuff because he wants to bed the female, right? And then, a lot of times people say men are dogs because we're always after the chase. It's always about the chase. At the point when I wanted to stop chasing women was the time when I realized that a jack of all trades is a master of none. And I
Mhm.
know they say there's a continuation to that, but for the sake of this, me trying to spread my love over a broad area of females wasn't working out. It didn't make any sense. When I say it wasn't working out, I mean I was getting catch left, right, and center. I mean I was, I wasn't feeling as though I was getting the the majority out of life.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
And I
And
come
I
from the
learned
story,
that,
though.
Yeah, I was 30 something when I got married, and I felt as though that's a lesson, that's a level of maturity that I wish I had arrived, I come to that point much earlier, because there's a lot of love to be shared. And when you do things like that, there's a lot of heartbreak. So here's my next point. What a man does to show love is he tries to protect that woman's heart,
Yes.
if you agree.
In which way?
100%.
Now, I can be real.
In
Come
which
on.
way? In
I
which
can be
way?
real with you. I can be real
Yeah.
with you which way,
Okay.
because this is it. These ways is, and I think it might be maturity too, but these are ways in which we get in trouble a lot of times, because women say that men lie a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in my experience, not in my relationship now, Wendy, but in my experience, it's a device to protect the heart. Like, men do stupid things a lot, and we don't realize how stupid it is until after it's done, and then we want to protect the heart, because we and the heart of the person that we're with. And a lot of times people
It's
think that
more
we're trying to
detailed than that.
run from. Say again?
I think it's more detailed than that. I agree. Well, I mean, so we're talking about when you're talking about lying now, you're talking about infidelity.
Not
Right?
actually, not specifically lying.
You're talking about infidelity.
No, I'm
No,
not
no,
talking about
no.
that.
I think he
No.
is talking about overall, but these are just certain things that comes up majority of the time.
But
Okay,
I
for
think
very simple
sometimes
reason. I'll give you a very simple example. My wife told me to take the chicken out of the fridge on the phone. She said, "Hey," she told me from this morning. And it's now 3 o'clock in the afternoon. She gets home at 5. She calls me at 3. "Hey, did you take the chicken out the fridge?" Of course. So before I hang up the phone, she had the fridge open. She had me drag the chicken out the fridge. I put the thing in the microwave, try to get it thawed out. So by the time it's 5 o'clock, she comes in, because I don't want to be a disappointment. I don't want her, when you feel that, you feel your heart sink because someone doesn't come through the way you expected them to. And I think that's the type of protection of the heart that men do a lot. So that could be on any level of things, but we don't. And I don't know if women do it. I'm led to believe that women don't do this. I'm led to believe that women are always honest, loyal, truthful, doing the right thing. I'm led to believe these things.
Okay. Along with all the things, reading the Bible, knitting a sweater, and learn to play the piano.
Exactly. So that being the case, yeah. Would you? Okay, where was I now? I want women to understand that it's not us running, and this is how men love. It's not us running from being straight up, per se, with whether or not I took the chicken out of the fridge. It's, yeah, we eating rubbery chicken because I just take the chicken out of the fridge. I'm sorry. But we do that because a man's goal is to create something that's strong. So I think that's another way in which we show love to women. And I want to know, I mean, do you feel as though that is something that's appreciated, or is that something that
no,
is,
absolutely not.
yeah?
Absolutely not.
How do you feel they see that type of action?
It's not
Receive
appreciated
it.
because they'll never see it that way. And it's simply because there's a narrative of the women always desire the truth from their man. And you'd be surprised.
Preach.
A lot of times you don't want the truth. They think they want the truth, but they really don't. She didn't want to hear about the chicken still being in the freezer. I guarantee you she didn't want to hear that. So you try to protect her from that. And this is a small example, but I'm saying you want to protect her from that anger or that being upset. All right? Or you just didn't want to have the argument. And that's the main reason why I tell little lies like that. Because I don't want to have the discussion. I don't want to have the argument. or I don't want to get, especially if I'm in the wrong, I really don't want to get into it, right? So yeah, we'll lie to get
Right.
out of it. You understand what I'm saying? And that happens a lot. And you know, sometimes it happened a few times, and my wife told me, you know what? Because we had the discussion about why I would do that, and I would say to her, listen, I don't want to, because I don't want to get into it with you. You are not easy to argue with. My wife is a very strong-minded woman. She's not an easy person to argue with, right?
I
So,
think I think they birthed a lot of them in that
and
era.
I,
But
yeah,
this
I
is
don't
why,
know.
not to interrupt you, Ken, this is why you never get in an argument with a female from jump, because a female is eternally in her emotional realm, and you can't win that because you're a logical man. It doesn't go together. Go ahead, Ken.
So, so, so I'd rather say, you know what? But you know what I started doing, bro? I just started saying what it was. So when she asked me, "Did you take out the chicken?" I'd be like, "No, I forgot."
Mhm. Same
And
here. No, I didn't take it out.
no,
Nope.
I didn't take it out.
I
No, I
agree.
forget.
Nope.
And I mean, that's to be honest with you, bro. That's easier on me. That's actually easier.
That's a
And
wild moment.
if that's what she
Agreed.
wants,
Agreed.
if that's what
100%.
she, if that's what she wants, give it to her.
Yeah,
Give it to her.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
That's it.
yeah.
She
See,
wants you to tell her the truth. Tell her the truth. I didn't take a chicken out. I didn't take a chicken out. We eating frozen chicken tonight, madam. That's it.
mm, yeah, yeah.
Right?
No, I totally agree with you. And I marvel over the way young people interact, young relationships interact, especially in the shows that I've been watching with young love. And I don't know if it's an American thing. One would be able to say this, but they seem to be so much more open and straight up with one another. Um, and it's almost like um, they're not how do I even say this? They're not protective of each other's feelings, but it's not really that they're not protective of it. It's the fact that they respect one another enough to allow them to process whatever the truth is. And my wife says that a lot. Tell me what it is so I can know what to do. And then she's giving me this look. So then it's scared the mess out of me. And then I still just be like, I don't know if I want to. I don't know if I want to say that.
That question's for me.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's not about they have patience with each other. Young people don't even know what the first thing is about a relationship to begin with.
That's
They
what
don't even know
that's
what
what I
they're
was gonna
talking
say.
about, bro. That's all trial and error to them, bro.
That's what I was gonna say.
Right,
It's all
right.
trial and error, man. Like, so to guys like us, our age, or women our age, can look at it, we may look at it that way. But, you know, I have a daughter who is 19, right? Her
Right.
boyfriend is about the same age, I think, whatever. But
We could go see him.
when they interact with each other, it's the weirdest thing in the world, bro. To me,
Mm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's a
to me,
generational
it
thing.
don't
Yeah.
even look natural, so to speak. They
Right.
talk weirdly, they do weird things, you know. But you gotta understand that's the era that they're coming up in, man. Things change a lot, bro, and a lot has to do with the cell phone, bro. That cell phone right there, that
Hmm.
eliminates a lot of organic interaction between man and women, bro. Between man and woman.
Hmm.
If you don't come like she'll be in this room and he'll be in that room and they'll text each other back and forth. Like,
Mm.
are you serious? I can't just go over there and talk to you like right there. You remember the days when we was dating, you had to actually go out and meet somebody? I know that's amazing, I know, right? You had to actually go out and put the time in to actually go on an actual date.
You mean without the app?
Well,
Without
Without
the
the
app.
app?
And not only that, when you go
let's
on,
go even
when we used to go on an actual date, there was no phones to pull out on the date and spend 70% on your phone and what 30% interacting with the person who you initially interested in.
Mm.
Yep, yep. So that changes the dynamic of everything, bro. It's not that it's different. It's weird, bro. It's
But
weird.
yeah.
I was thinking though, Jets. It do we take the desire to protect to treat women like delicate flowers
No,
to an extreme
no,
by trying to
no,
retract that truth.
no.
Shouldn't we that's not a part of that's not a part of what it means or what you should do to treat a woman like she's a delicate flower. You don't have to hide hurtful things from her, is what you're saying.
What I'm saying is that's me. Okay, it's me. Okay.
No, you both.
What?
Mostly you.
Anyway, for me personally, now I have never had in the past and never will put a woman on a pedestal. Never. Reason being,
Explain.
reason being, you put anything on a pedestal and have no choice but to look down on you. That's just the way it is. And a lot of females will disagree because they want to be treated like, the queen this and the queen that. And that's all good and dandy. But you got to be very careful with that, bro. You can't reward a female just for being a female. She gets no points just for showing up to the party. And that is, so to speak, in my opinion. Like I said, in my relationship, I'm a little different. You have to lead by example. Like I see a comment here where some guy says that he does the cooking, and that's good. Good for you, buddy. I guess I do the cooking sometimes, but not all the time. I mean, it all depends on who gets home first. You get to it whenever you're gonna get to it. But as far as treating them like a delicate flower, why? What deems it? What's the need for treating her like a delicate flower? Why?
I mean, I
I'm
feel like
asking you guys.
I'm answering it.
My wife is not a delicate flower.
No. Hold on. I'm not saying.
Let me
break it. Hold on. I'm not trying to say who's a delicate flower versus who's not a delicate flower.
Right.
I'm saying the universal thought coming from men. Majority of men
all right,
like to treat a female like a delicate flower. I'm asking why.
Because that's how you've been trained.
Yeah,
I mean,
historically, the narrative is always, I keep saying this word, but the narrative has always been the knight saving the damsel in distress. So that has always been the narrative, and you see it in many cultures. You see it in cultures all over the world. It's always been like that historically. So I mean,
but have we been lied to? Is that not true?
It is true. It is true, but sometimes
nobody can.
No, but it's true to an extent, meaning that not everyone is a damsel and not all of them are in distress, right? The same way, not all of the men are honorable knights, and not all of them are brave fighters.
Right.
Some may be strategists instead of fighters. So it's not. It's still true in a way, and especially with the times changing, because we're not going to understand what that means to our kids. To our kids, that's going to mean something totally different. I mean, as a matter of fact, we're heading towards the direction where if you try to help a female, it's an insult. That's the direction we're heading in now. But that aside, we've been told that. But you have to realize, to me, love truly works when both persons involved have kind of connected on who they are and what they want from each other. And that's like the most important thing when you're talking about love. You can talk about how a woman loves a man, how a man loves a woman, and that's there's some general things we can talk about.
These comment section right here, boy, I tell you.
Every situation is going to be different. So you see this lady, she said she needs to be on a pedestal. That's cool. If your man is willing to put you on a pedestal, then you and your man should be happy. If he's not happy putting you on the pedestal, you're going to have a problem. Because you want to be on a pedestal. You understand what I'm saying? And this is why people get divorced. Because they don't take the time to really learn each other and what they want from each other, and if they want to offer it or not offer it or not. You see what I'm saying? So
I see what you're saying.
We gotta, and that's to me. I know we jumped way ahead, but I would have loved to talk about our early experiences with love. and what we thought love was earlier in our lives to what we think it is now. Because my thought process now is much different than it was.
Yeah.
Wow, how old
Let's
are we,
reverse
dude?
back. Let's hit it. Let's hit that
We're
right
pretty
now.
old. We're pretty old for real. I was going to say 10 years ago. I've been married more than 10 years. Uh, 20
You
to
almost
30
get in
years
trouble this
ago.
time. Go ahead, man.
Okay, so when I was, let's say, you know who my first love was, Dyson? Can you
Hold
guess?
on.
Boy, just go on, boy.
Katura.
Myra.
Myra. I was gonna say Myra.
My
Yeah.
first love was Myra Brown. Okay,
Right. I remember Myra.
Myra Brown,
She
and
caused me to get
I
slapped.
went. I she was cute and she knew it, right? She was one of those
Right.
girls. She was cute and she knew it. And she was obviously a princess girl. She had princess mentality at that age, right?
Right. Right.
But I'm saying I went and told her that I liked her.
Uh-huh.
I think I wrote her a note. I wrote her a note. You know the old, we had to write notes back in the day. They're not gonna understand that either one. We had
Yep.
to write notes on paper.
You like me, tick yes. You don't like me, tick no.
And we used to slide it in. So I wrote these exact words. I remember the exact words I wrote. This is what I wrote. I write, I like you. Do you like me? Let's talk. let's talk about it. Something like that. That's what I wrote.
Uh-huh.
She took that to the teacher, man.
Oh no.
Boy, got
Myra's
detention on
wrong
that.
for that.
I think our teacher that was in third grade, right? And
Yeah.
she took me to the teacher. The teacher kept me back after school and gave me this long lecture about how I must be respectful to women, be respectful to girls. She didn't say women. She said be respectful to girls, and I made her feel uncomfortable and all of this stuff. And I was like, I didn't understand what I did wrong.
Hmm.
And I was actually hurt. I was very hurt, and it was very embarrassing. It was basically a heartbreak. And I mean, I didn't even get to talk to her. I didn't build up the courage to talk to her. You understand? And she broke my heart without even talking to me.
Wow.
Okay. You understand what I'm saying? So,
Wow.
so I never forgot that experience as long as I never forgot that experience. And as men, and women don't understand this, bro. As men, we carry a fear of rejection that women don't. We carry a fear of rejection with us every time we have to talk to a woman. And no matter whether the man admits it or not, there's a fear of rejection. It takes a lot of time and a lot of practice to get out of that. No man is just immune to that immediately. It takes a lot of time and a lot of practice to get over that fear and to get a confidence, the kind of confidence that most women are attracted to. It takes a lot of time to acquire that confidence.
Boy, you got
Sometimes
a
a lot
lot
of
of
pretending
females on
too.
this comment section talking, but they like the pedestal, boy. Wow.
Yeah.
They love the
Yeah.
pedestal. I guess
So
I guess they're dating me now for that comment. It's all good.
Well,
so
no,
so
I know. No, and the point is between the three of us, we encompass a lot of mentalities, a lot of men's mentalities. And I think getting women to hear it and to see that, a lot of times what they expect isn't exactly what we deliver, but we do it with the same motive of what it is they want to receive.
Yeah.
So they may say, oh, you have to do this to prove that you're loyal, but you do other things that you do to prove that you're loyal.
You shouldn't
what I
have to
mean?
prove. You shouldn't have to prove. You shouldn't have to
To
prove your
be
loyalty.
loyal, to be loyal. You're right, Juan. Not to
To
prove,
be
but
loyal.
to be
Prove what,
loyal.
man?
To be loyal. And I think that's a big thing because I saw the word loyalty come up a whole, even my wife posted that in there. But to bring out a little bit more of this how to love a woman conversation, I want to ask, well, Kent, you have this one word, and your answer probably is the one word. So I don't know if we want to get to that. But give me one or two things that you actually do that
that says specifically to say I love you?
Say it.
Well, somebody said that. Somebody said that in the comments.
No, believe it or not, knowing one, that's a big deal.
Oh boy.
And
Right.
Wait,
No, I'm
hold
saying-
on now. Hold on now. Let's come back with that.
I say knowing you, I know who you are, girl.
There you
So
go.
I
Yeah,
know,
that's a big
so
deal.
I know if you say that to a woman, you mean that shit. You mean that.
Yeah.
I know that.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, so this is what I'm saying. I have that knowledge. Your wife needs to have that knowledge. Yeah, or your girlfriend, whoever. Your woman needs to have that knowledge. She needs to know that. She needs to appreciate that this thing that he did is a big deal. Now, to other men, see, Jeff said, say it every day. But to me, Jeff, if you say it every day, it loses its.
It loses effect. Then when you
meaning,
actually mean it,
power.
it don't hit the same.
Yeah, because if you're just flinging it out there, I mean, that's great. You know, I love you, see you later, something like that. Fine. But I mean, when I look my wife in the eyes and I say, I love you, that's a different I love you. That's like, thank you for being in my life type I love you. You know what I mean? That ain't,
Yeah.
I'll see you later, I love you. That's a different I love
Okay.
you. I know Anton could say it great. Love language. Your love language. My sister also used that term before. You have to know your love language of your partner. You have to know the
Yeah.
love language of your partner.
Okay.
Hold on.
Okay.
Hey, can I address this one comment?
Please.
Sure.
This is from Arian Simonet. Now, I know the previous comment you said your husband passed away. My condolences. Well, let me ask you
Yes,
this
my
one question
condolences.
based on, I'm going to ask her this one question based on her comment right here. She says, listen here, when I first met my husband, I couldn't stand him. He showered me with gifts, and the minute we was married, they stopped. I had no problem with that because we at home, and he made sure, hold on a second. He made sure I got the most. Woman get mad with gifts stop coming. Okay, so let me answer this question. This is for Arian Simonet. All right. So you said, listen here, when I first met my husband, I couldn't stand him. He showered me with gifts. So this is how I interpreted stuff like this. No thing at your husband, just a general statement, so don't get, whatever. So let me ask you a question. So basically, when you first met him, you didn't even like him. So basically, he had to chase you, give you gifts to make you seem like he is the one. So basically, what is I saying? That he wasn't really the one. I understand you've been married for a very long time, and I get it that eventually you start to fall for him, whatever. But initially, it shouldn't be that way. A woman shouldn't have to chase a man shouldn't have to chase a woman to prove how much they like you by giving you gifts and giving you this and giving you that. In my opinion, that's not the person for you, because that should be a natural thing from both sexes.
Facts.
You understand? It's like, for instance, Dyson, if you see a female who you like, she's giving you some sort of signals that make you want to approach her, to talk to her. Unless you just want to get shot down every single time, just talking to random females, and females for men too. But if you got to go out of the way and say every time you see this girl, you got to bring her something. Hey, what's up, beautiful? Here's a problem. The next day, hey, what's up, beautiful? Here's some lunch. You trying to buy her affection for you. And then eventually, you know what happens? She falls for you eventually because you wear her down, bro.
Yeah. The day before you run out of money.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, that's how I see that situation. Like I said, no shots to your husband. You said he died. My condolences. But that's how I see that. No one should have to chase nobody with gifts, shower you with gifts, and you could say, I didn't even like him to begin with. Then why do you even stay with him? I mean, the love is not organic. You have to learn to like him.
I mean,
That's
unless it was a situation where she just wasn't interested in dating anyone, period. Like she wasn't liking anybody. And it was just a matter of.
She says, I was
Yeah.
very tough at the time. I wasn't interested. I was still in school, but he wanted me. Okay.
Right. So you have to go above and beyond to make yourself visible and do these type things. Now, where you go wrong is the expectation, or what Ken was saying in the beginning. Anyone could throw money at you. It doesn't mean that they love you.
She said he surely bought my love. So he buy your love? Come on, man. Come on now.
Well,
He bought your love.
I'm not sure.
He surely bought my love. Come on, man.
I would
Yeah.
like to know.
The hate
I would like to
turned
know.
into love.
I would like
Come
to.
on.
Well,
This is not
I
a
won't
key.
have it. I won't
get
have
it.
money like that.
I get it. But what do you mean? He's supposed to keep. So let's just say you all after all those things, you didn't like him to begin with. Would you still take the gifts? Would you still take the gifts with no intentions of being with him?
That's a good question. Kent, what were you saying?
I was going to say I was wondering what age she was, because I think that would have a difference in the dynamics. I think that our parents, people from what they call the baby boomers and those guys, I think they were a little different as far as that is concerned. You know what I mean? I think that you truly could win a woman's love with gifts back then.
Mm-hmm.
But I think now the mentality has changed to the point where they expect the gifts whether they like you or not. Like you know what I mean? So I think we've gone from one spectrum, one extreme, almost from one extreme to the other. And also you wasn't dealing with a female who had a bunch of dudes in their DMs and all that stuff. You know, he wasn't dealing with girls like that at that time.
Bro, it was the same. It was the same thing back then, bro.
You know,
He said she was
I don't
16.
understand.
She was 16 at the time. So
It
yeah,
was
I
the same
mean,
thing, you know why we say,
Yes,
why we like to say that.
no, but the
Oh, it was
reasons
different
I think.
from the DMs. Let me tell you why right now we say, oh, back in the day, it was no bunch of girls in the DMs because there was no internet, whatever. Bro, it's not the same amount of guys or not than just in the physical form. We didn't know that though because we wasn't there to see it.
But
Physically.
men even approach women differently back then. Like the
Approaching,
approach,
yes, but they had a ton of girls, a ton of dudes, some friend zone front, bro. Waiting.
right?
what do
The
you guys
DMs
think?
all the DMs is now is a digital friend zone, bro.
No, all I'm saying is I don't think that she had. Let me not say that because I don't know. I'm not saying I know her personally, but I'm just saying at that time it was a little different. You had a line of suitors, but it's less likely that she was sleeping with all of them. You understand what I mean? Whereas today, I say less likely. Whereas today, that female in the same situation is a little different. You understand what I mean? The situation is, I'm sorry, the situation is a little different. It's a little different now, and the women behave differently now. They have less, they care less about body count and stuff now.
Right,
You understand what I
right.
mean? Body count meant
Right.
something back then.
Fox.
You know what I mean? A lot of times
Yeah.
you married a virgin for real, and it was true. That happened often. That's a rare thing now. You know, so
Right.
I think some things have changed. Some have changed from back then, but nevertheless, it's still not for me. That's not my. I learned a hard lesson with money and buying gifts too. I learned a very hard lesson with that, and I had to learn it the hard way. You know, after deep into
Boy,
my
hey,
pocket.
that's like some hard lessons, boy. Let me tell you.
That's it.
Boy.
Deep into my
Well.
pocket. But here's the thing, and here's the thing about I wouldn't say modern women, but let's just say and the women we grew up with, you could give them the world and still get like they will lead you on.
Right.
You understand? And that happened to me. That happened to me where I had a female lead me on to the tune of about three years or so, maybe 3 or 4 years. And I mean, she took money from me. We essentially had a relationship without a relationship. We had a relationship without a relationship. And my thing was, she did not want to commit and say we had a relationship. We even met each other's family. We had the full shebang, except so it's like, is this your girlfriend? No, mom, that's not my girlfriend. So what is she exactly? Why I flew to meet her people. She flew to meet my people to another country. Like
Wow.
that's how deep it was in this thing.
Deep.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
One day,
Yes, Bodens.
I'm gonna admit this right there publicly. One day she said to me, so something happened, and I had some extra cash. Right? And since she knew everything that's going on with me, she found out why I had this extra cash. So you know what she said to me? She said, "Can you give me 1,500 US?" I said, "Why?" She said, "I just want you to give it to me." I said, "What do you mean?" I said, "What do you mean? Like, what do you need it for?" She said, "No, I just want you to give it to me. It would be nice if you gave it to me." You know, I gave it to her.
Okay.
I gave her the money. I gave her the money.
Why?
Because I'm stupid.
Okay. I thought you were gonna say because you love her. Or,
My
okay, go ahead.
disclaimer, right?
Hold
My
on, let me answer
disclaimer,
that
I
first.
don't know what the hell you're talking about because I was smart upside down, bro. I don't know this one.
I wasn't around then either.
No,
I was far away. I was far away from my support team. But
Yeah, you didn't
I
know
was
us.
very far away. But hold on, let me tell you why. Now I'll tell you that I was stupid. But back then,
Right.
I thought that if I gave it to her, she would like me more. I thought that she would eventually love me. Because I
Right.
certainly thought I loved her.
Hey,
certainly thought
on
I
that
loved her.
point right there, right? And check this out. Don't lose your train of thought, Ken. Back to you in like 5 seconds. And that's just it right there. All that money and gift you gave, right? The next man was still piping her down.
Yep.
Piping her down. Oh no.
Piping her down. Blowing her back out. The next man. And
Oh
guess
no,
what?
blowing
And
her
here's the
back out.
irony of it
Oh,
all,
no.
right? The next man ain't paying for nothing.
Exactly.
He
I
getting
pay
it
for
for free.
everything.
So what you doing it for? That's my point. If it don't benefit you, come on now.
So after being in a situation like that now, you know how hard it is for a man to get into a relationship with somebody else? And this is what women don't get this. You know, we don't like to admit that when you combine a little bit of emotion with some degree with logical thinking, you get an explosive reaction. Or you get an extreme reaction, right? And
Okay.
that could manifest into something you see physically, and you know what I mean, or it can just be a state of mind that changes in my head, right? So my state of mind went to, yo, screw all this love stuff. The hell with all this love stuff. The next girl that I met can catch hell, and she did. The next girl I met caught hell from me.
What was the score, young man? He was scoring.
She caught some hell from me, and guess what? I'm married to that girl now.
Oh Lord, you got a lifetime of making up to do.
You know, no, but she's special. She was tough. She's really tough, right? But
You see who laughs last.
you know, but the fact that she was able to deal with all of that. But I'm saying that ain't the first time I've been in a situation like that, and that ain't the first time.
Oh, what? I sound hurt.
That ain't the first time somebody.
I sound hurt. Why sound hurt, Wendy?
That ain't the first time somebody catch hell from me because you want a woman to love you, or are you trying to do what this woman wants you to do to prove that you love her? You understand what I mean? And we tend to do that a lot, and we have to be careful doing that. You have to be really careful doing that.
I agree. Yeah.
Why sound? I want to know why sound hurt.
She could put in the comment sheet. I don't get hurt. I think I get a lot of life and confidence in some of the things that you say.
You know what it is, Dyson? Anytime, right? And this is my experience with women in general. Anytime a man speaks with conviction, right? Don't tolerate much. Ain't got the patience for foolishness. These are the language that they always use against men like that. Who hurt you? You ain't find the right one yet. I've been married 20 years, man.
Yeah.
So I always found the right one. You know what I mean? But this is what they use when they can't pull the wool over your eyes so easily, like the other Tom, Dick, and Harry's.
Yeah.
So it always boils down to you sound hurt. I get it. It's all good.
I agree. And then they start with a toxic masculinity type thing.
We already touched on that.
We discussed that. Yeah. So yeah.
But you know something, bro? Check this out, right? If you were to look on a dating site, right, and you look on a female's profile, her description and the man that she wants, she has 504 stipulations. He got to be 6 foot this. He got to be that. He got to be this. He got to be in shape. He got to be this. He got to be that. Guess what? And men be like, okay, cool. And then if you look on our site, we'll say something just randomly now. I want no fat girls. I'm not saying nothing against fat people. I'm just
Right. No, making a
oh
point.
my God, you getting
I
sent to
know.
hell, boss.
How
You
the
getting sent
hell?
to hell. You
But
fat
man,
shaming. You doing this. You doing that. But did she just have 50 reasons why
That is
she
so
wants? So what's
true.
the difference? Preference is preference, right? But always when
Facts.
it comes to us, when we want preference, because they're so used to the simp dudes just giving them what they want. When you have real
That
men
wasn't
coming in
fair.
and saying,
That
listen,
wasn't fair,
no,
Juan.
you got to bring something to the table. You better stay in shape. You got to do this. You got to do that, or else, nah, they can't deal with that. So it boils down to who hurt you. There you go.
I wanna retract one simp dude's statement. That's not fair. But look here, look here. I asked, and from what we had discussed earlier, I wanted to bring up expectations from both sides actually. Like, what are our self expectations in a love situation? And then this is going to spin off into something else. But what are your self expectations? What are you expecting of yourself to bring to the table to ensure that your relationship is a loving one?
what am
For
I expecting?
me, yeah, for me, I guess I'll start. For me, my expectation is to deliver on all of my promises, all my responsibilities. For instance, my wife says she is looking forward to living a certain type of lifestyle, and that's major pressure on me, right? Because in my line of work, I make a lot of money in one year. Then
Flex it.
it's
Flex
possible
it.
that I make absolutely no money in the next year. So I always on this financial type tug of war, plus all of my responsibilities, because she married me a man with children, which is a big no-no for her clan. Her generation is like, I ain't getting nobody with children. So my pressure
Really?
to step up, and to deliver and to be the type of person that she wants and to give her where we could travel, where we could do all these different type things is great. So y'all can imagine what the pandemic has done to me. So the expectation can possibly become great. And what I do is I give my very last to devote myself to the relationship in the way that I know that she's expecting. Um, and there's a little bit of scariness in there, because we go back to what your example was, Kent, when you gave the woman these things because you wanted her to love you more. Now, I do these things because I trust that I will get this love in return,
Mm.
right? But, and not saying, I'm just using myself as an example, at any point in time, my wife can say, bro, this ain't enough. This is not what I wanted my life to be like. You know, I don't think this is working out. So here I am with my last, I just put my last right in her hand.
Yeah.
and then she push out. But is it, what I'm saying is, I do that because, but y'all got me thinking now, is it love? Or is it because I'm expecting love in return?
It's a little of both.
Yeah.
So
It's a little
what are
of
your
both.
expectations of self?
I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I had expectations before I got married. I had, and that expectation was kind of the knight in shining armor expectation,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And my wife and my marriage, well, not just my wife, but being married to the person I'm married to, my understanding of what love is and how love is to be conducted has, especially in a relationship, changed it evolved. It's evolved a lot. And it actually continues to evolve because it has to be customized. But like I said, there are some general aspects. So yes, you trust that you get it in return. You hope that you know you're getting it in return, right? And I expect, if I have to say that I expect something from myself, the only thing I expect from myself is to provide for my wife and provide for my family.
Right.
Those are the only. That's the only expectation I have.
General, right?
Because like one has reminded us many times, you can think that you're providing everything that she needs, and come to find out you're only providing a very small percentage of what she wants.
But yet I'm hurt though. I'm hurt though. Don't forget that though. I'm hurt.
So that, and not only that, her wants can also evolve. You see what I'm saying? So your marriage at 5 years can easily be different at 10 years. And don't add a child in there. Don't add a bankruptcy in there. Don't add some death in the family in there. Don't add some outside, don't add an outside child or something else.
Right.
Anything can evolve that. So again, this is why
Couple bad gals in a strip club. Oops. Don't add that in there.
You gotta have that foundation relationship. You gotta have that strong
Mm-hmm.
foundation. That's I mean, like stronger than concrete, man. And you guys have to understand what your love language is so that you all can communicate and be able to express. Listen, it used to be important to me for you to wash the dishes, or it wasn't important for you to wash the dishes. Now it's important because we got 3 kids and all the dishes dirty every night. So I need your help. I can't come home from work and you come home from work and I gotta wash all the dishes every night. Or you need to buy a dishwasher, or you need to find some lady to wash the dishes. The problem needs to be, you understand what I'm saying? So we gotta be able to, showing love isn't necessarily washing the dishes. Showing love is understanding why the dishes need to be washed and finding a solution.
Hold on, Ken. This because Wendy and he is saying all type of hurtful things, talking about the Bible say, if we go back to biblical times, women weren't directed to love their husbands at all.
Hey, I just addressed that, buddy.
That's so deep. Let
If
me
you
tell
want
you something, because that is true. It's true. But that is so very deep. Because if it's not biblical for a woman to love her husband, then what is this that we're doing?
Listen,
why
bro.
is this that we're doing?
So where do the vows come from?
Let me explain something.
I've read it too. Go
Listen,
ahead, Warren.
I already read. While you were talking, I was reading. You gotta understand something, bro. And I've said this before and I'll say it again. People love to go back and fall back on the Bible when it benefits them. You understand me? If we're gonna talk Bible talk, let's talk Bible talk 100%.
Get them, Pastor.
Because there are certain things in the Bible that benefits only men.
Get them, Pastor.
Hey, can I get a witness, bro?
Well.
Check this out, bro. Like they said, women is. Listen, man, let's not talk. Listen, politics and Bible, let's keep it out of discussion, man. Because it goes way deeper than just the surface of them pulling out different verses to benefit them when it benefits them. Because I can pull out like 200 verses that benefit us right now. You know what I thought I did.
Yeah. So let's move on. I know Arlene had said something, and she sounds like such a very interesting person. What she said was that she feels that she's afraid to move on and date, even though her husband has passed, because she feels as though she would be cheating on him. Now, for me, I'm getting that this guy did a lot to achieve that level of commitment from her, even beyond his death. She is still feeling connected to him. Now, it says, and if I'm to look on the bright side of it, says that he did a lot. And this is the same guy that used to buy her gifts to get her attention, but he did a lot to make his presence felt in this woman's life. And I always talk about in my music career, my main goal is to be remembered. After I'm past and gone, I still want people to say, "Hey, y'all that song from Dyson Knight, blah 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 blah." And I think I would want my relationships to be the same way. Like, and it's not, and this is where I wanted to move on from here, Ken. It's not just with my wife, but with my daughter, with my mother, with I'm talking about women now, with my female friends. Like, I want them to miss me when I'm gone. So all of these things that I do is to show love, but it's also because I want to leave a legacy that is a one to be admired. You know what I mean? So that, I think, is another way to show how to love a woman, is to do. But it makes it so, listen, women, y'all make it so flippin' difficult. Because the minute I feel as though, okay, I got this. I give an example. My wife's last birthday. I'm not the guy to buy flowers. I don't like seeing my $100 and something rot on a table. It just does something to me, right? But I went out, I spent like 85 Christian dollars on a bouquet of flowers. And those flowers are now sitting just behind the trash can, right downstairs behind the trash can. And I'm saying, wow, there's like 17,000 different things I could have done with that $85, right? Plus tip.
Mhm.
And then the thing is, I didn't really see again, we talking about it, I didn't really see the gratitude I was kind of looking for. Because for me, her dad buys her flowers every year. It's now Mother's Day, Valentine's Day, and birthdays. He usually gets her flowers that from little girls, from she was a little girl. And my thing is, like, her expectation is that, and I guess it reminds her of what love feels like. You know what I mean? So the next question is, so the next question is, with that, the next question is, what do you think a woman's expectation is when it comes to love? And I know they already discussed love languages, so every woman is going to be different. But for men, I'm talking from a man's perspective now, because I thought, get the flowers. That's what I thought. Get the flowers, she can know I love her.
Our
Right? She
opinions
can know
will
I
always
care.
differ. Our opinions, men and women's opinions will always differ on that. You see what I'm saying?
But how many things you think you got to do? How
It
many?
but guess what?
One.
You have to do one thing, but it never stops. It never stops.
Because it's one thing every day, eh, Ken?
And that's what water said. It never stops. It'll always be
It never
one
stops,
thing,
bro.
another thing. Because
You know what happens? Check this out. When you get a person used to the routine, right? It's all good and dandy. But sometimes it comes a time in life when you can't maintain that routine. And when you can't maintain that routine, that's when the problems come up. So you can't get them used to the routine, bro. You gotta do
So you
things
saying only God can love you then?
like how they want to be loved, yeah.
Yeah.
Like how they want to be loved.
Which means, and God is internal in my book. That means that you have to know how to love yourself.
Let me make a point here, because if I may, sorry. Let me just jump in on that. We had some interesting comments there, right? So Janine, who's a good friend of ours, all of us, said just ask her, and she'll tell you. Simple. And it's really not that simple, Janine.
Yeah, it's wrong.
But if you watch what Wendy said, I like flowers. You don't like to buy flowers. And my point is, when I was talking about the dishwashing, my point is, the fact that he bought the flowers. You listen to what your husband said, Wendy. He said he didn't feel the appreciation for what he did.
Preach. Get imposter.
You understand what I'm saying? So this is where the love language isn't clicking to some degree there, because the fact that he bought you flowers and he doesn't like to do it is a big deal.
Well,
The same way when Juan tells his wife he loves her and she knows that's not easy for the word. Those are easy words for him to say, and he says it. That's a big deal. So when you see when I gave my money, at least I thought it was something, but to me that was a big deal. To her, it wasn't a big deal at all. So what I'm saying is, when you do something that you perceive as a big deal, especially if you're doing it for her, and you don't get any type, you don't have to do the same thing back. You just need to say, you know what, I appreciate that you did this. That's sometimes, not all the times, sometimes that's better than sex. Sometimes. Not all the time. Sometimes.
Sex as appreciation is
That
trumpet, right?
means a lot more. That means a lot more when you say, you know what, I appreciate you said that. I appreciate you did that for me. I appreciate that. You understand what I'm saying? So it goes kind of both ways in that regard. But particularly for men, because we're usually the ones resisting stuff. We're usually the ones resisting doing the things that the ladies say: take out the garbage, wash the dishes, feed the baby.
My favorite line is, "Don't tell me what to do." That's my favorite line. Yeah, feeding the babies.
You know, so I'm saying it's very important that you recognize when your partner has made I don't want to say offering, but has done something that in the language of love, and how it feels when they don't get any kind of thanks, or it doesn't feel good when you don't show appreciation for it. You understand what I'm saying? And it kind of can end up in resentment. If you keep doing that enough times, the person's going to end up resenting it. So every time you ask him to wash the dishes now, he's you know what I mean? He's going to hate you because you asked him to wash the dishes.
Man, just let me wash the dishes and while she at it, make you a sandwich.
But the point is again, both partners need to be in a clear communication. Your love language got to be on point. You got to practice that. You got to practice that. You got to understand why the dishes need to be washed, and she needs to understand why she needs to appreciate what you do for her when you don't want to do it. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to get any comments on that. Nobody's going to say anything about that because that's not important.
Let me ask all these heavy communicators in the comment section one question, right? This boy heavy right now. Now, females in the comment section, only y'all. I want you to be honest now. If the men y'all are with at this moment, whether it be your husband or your boyfriend or whoever, if he did not have the ability to provide for you emotionally, economically, spiritually, would you still be with him? Financially, would you still stay with him? Go ahead and lie to me now.
Whilst y'all answer that question, which very simply is, if your man ain't doing for you, why are you gonna stay with him?
No. Would you stay with him?
Bible says you should.
Boy, that's why I asked again. That's why I asked. You see the setup here? That's why I asked. See, Sabria said no. I appreciate the honesty because the answer is no. So let me ask you something. So if the answer is no, right, based on sometimes the market change depending on the business your man are in, and he could fall, right? Things happen on a day-to-day basis where it ain't always 100% for us, right? So should he still keep you on a pedestal? When you so easily said no, you will drop him the minute he can't maintain what you figure must be maintained. Should he still keep you on a pedestal then? Lie to me again now.
I had a final question, but I don't know. They're getting up in age, and I forgot it. The old sayings. Yeah, but it's a whole bunch of old sayings that they make a lot of songs out of it. Can't buy me love. Love is a game for fools. And anyway, so I wanna just dig into that last statement that I made then. which is you got to be able to love yourself. It's like I say, I give my last. I should never do that. The reason being is because I have no more value.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly, brother. Exactly. Preach.
I know we tackling two things at once here, but I want to follow up on Juan's question. I looked very carefully at the responses to Juan's question, and most of the women gave a negative response, if I'm not mistaken. And my question in that regard is always, why is it that this is not really on the topic tonight, right? But why is it that when a man has a difficulty like that, there's no discussion as to trying to figure out why he's having this difficulty? If you're let's bring it into the realm of love then. So if you feel like your man isn't loving you the way he used to love you, what should you think your next move be? Your next move shouldn't be to pick up and leave. If you're, especially if you're married, I think that shouldn't be your next move. Your next move should be to figure out, come to the table and figure out why is it that you're not giving me the love? First of all, say it. I don't feel like you're giving me the love you used to give me anymore. With some examples, some factual examples.
Love, bro. We're talking about love, you know. The man can love you to death.
No, I'm saying, that's why I say let's bring it to the realm of love, because I don't want to go too far off on another topic.
Boy, look here, I love it how Wendy does have a shovel and like to dig herself deeper and deeper in hole. I love that. Dyson, read that. Go ahead, Ken. Be listening.
No, I'm just saying. Just to cut this quickly, I'm just saying. There's never no kind of discussion, debate, or query
read that good.
into why the man is why has his love changed for you? What is it that changed, and why has it changed, and what can we do to get that back? We never have that discussion. Is usually that's the one that needs to be had, instead of you doing this for me, you ain't doing this for me no more, so I gone. You understand what I mean? That shouldn't be the discussion. See, Wendy said we didn't answer the question, but we answered it a couple of times. But
yeah, many times.
You see, we didn't answer it. We were not answering what they want to hear.
And that's okay. This is the point we started with. The point we started with. I've been listening all week to what people said to what people were saying, and even what my wife just said today. I know she's kind of joking, but they listen to tasks, and it's more than just tasks. It has to be more than tasks, because anybody can take out your garbage and wash your dishes and put a bottle to your baby's mouth. Anyone can do that. They can do that and hate you. We already established that. They can do that and despise the person you are. They can do that and plan your murder. Okay? So it has to be more than that, right? You have to feel, you have to know, and you have to know that this person is understanding why they're doing what they're doing, and the connection with you, what that connection with you means for them doing it. Not just the fact that they're doing it. It has to be more than just a simple action. It has to be an understanding of what this action means for me and you when we interact. And that's not going to be the same for every person. It's not going to be the same for every couple.
Right. And my answer to the question, or to the topic of how to love a woman, was doing those physical things, cutting the grass, taking out the trash, all the things that Kent says you can do, anybody can do. But I feel as though, and something that Wendy said, is she said, if a husband is neglecting his duties, and neglect, it means that you have the ability to do it, but you choose not to. So if what I do is I don't neglect my duties, and I'm not a husband because I need a wife. You understand? I don't need anyone to cook for me. I don't need anyone to sleep with me. I don't need anyone to comfort me. It's a bonus, but I could get all those things when I need it from other places.
There you
So
go.
I'm a husband because I take on the responsibility. I'm willing to take on the responsibilities. And if I can't do the responsibilities, it's not because I'm neglecting them. It's because I'm unable to do it. And I think to me, that is a display of love, because if I'm the same person that says that if I don't need to have a wife and I choose to have a wife, that's because I love. That's
Yep.
because I see, there's something that and this is what I think love is. I think love is an action word, but I do think love is something that you do in spite of, right? Even though you're angry, you still want to do these things. Even though you sad, you still want to do these things. Even when you got all your money and you could go wherever you want in the world. You could buy as many gifts for as many women in the world. You choose to do it with a certain person. That's love. You see what I'm saying? So the answer, we have been answering the question, Wendy, how to love a woman, but we're saying it how men love the women, and
Men
then
choose wives, bro. Men
right.
choose to marry.
Yeah, I read
Women
something that
don't
says
choose to
that,
marry men. Men choose to marry you.
right, men get married when they're ready.
Thank you very much.
And it's just as simple as that. When we're ready.
When we're ready.
you know. But yeah.
I
Okay.
guess
So
that.
yes. So gents, let's see if we could put a wrap on this. I need to get that one thing, but that one thing you were talking about. Let me make sure. I think anything else we could talk about in the comments. I'm gonna go back in the comments and read through and answer a lot of questions. Not that I'm some love expert, you know. I want to shout out a coach here who is actually a relationship coach that I talk to from time to time, and also want to shout out Erica, the Glass Kitchen, who just got her certification in life coaching. I think that is too. So big up to everybody that understands that. Like someone said, love is not a game, although a lot of people treat it as if it is. It's the love isn't a game part. Getting in people's pants is a game. Yeah, that's a little game. Seeing how much you could get out of a man is a game. Yeah, that women play. Let me see how much I can get out of him. But when you start talking about love, you are talking about an emotion that is deeper than even deeper than the physical. You feel me? All right. So, anything else I wanted to say on the matter?
The one thing
Okay.
that I think that, I mean, to me, I sum it up in one word: how do you love your woman? And it's you listen, and that's really it. If you listen, you will learn, and when you learn, you can make a decision on what it is what your action is going to be. You see what I'm saying? So if you're listening,
go on just now.
So yeah, Dyson, I think we had this discussion, bro. I think we had this discussion.
Yeah, well, if we had a discussion, then that I probably needed to have it a couple more times.
With a couple of these. But you have to listen. You have to listen because, like you said, love is an action word, and it's expected that there's some actions that go along with it. But to me, those actions can be some bland, generic list of actions. It can't be wash the dishes, sweep the floor, clean the yard. You understand? You have to listen to your partner because every person is different. And not only that, people evolve. Situations evolve. You could move, like, for example, we live in a house with a dishwasher now. We didn't have one before. So washing dishes isn't such a big a deal anymore. It used to be a
dynamic change.
So dynamic change. That has nothing to do with my love. The dishwasher has nothing to do with my love at all. You understand what I'm saying? So if you're judging how I love you based on me washing the dishes, you're silly. You're a silly person.
Can't.
You're a silly person. So are you saying that I don't, or I love you less, or I don't love you enough because I know how hard it is, or I ignore the fact that doing something or not helping you with something injures you? Of course, that's someone who doesn't love you. That's someone who doesn't love you. If they're going to watch you injure yourself, if your partner is going to watch you injure yourself, do anything, that partner doesn't love you, regardless of what it is. So listening and getting your love language, your love communication on point, I think is how the best way that a man could love a woman. Because we're men of action, men are people of action. And to make the appropriate action the best decision, you got to listen so that you know what's going on.
Yeah, you match my con. I don't listen too good. I admit
Same
it.
here.
I
I don't listen to good either, buddy.
I don't listen.
Well,
I
you
don't
talk,
listen too good. So like
hold
I
on now,
said,
hold on.
like
You
I
talk about two
said,
different things, you know.
between
You
the
talk
three
about
of
two
us,
different things.
we
We talk about two different things. Just because you make a decision that goes against what she said, that doesn't mean you're not listening, you know.
right. That's what I was just about to say because you said earlier
That ain't the same
that
thing.
if your wife asked you if you took the chicken out of the fridge, you would just say no. If you ain't take the
And,
chicken out of the fridge, you would say no. So whatever it is, I mean, you listen. I mean, you listen to the question, and you still don't feel responsible to give her the answer that you feel would make her feel good. You give her the answer that is the fact, the truth, and if it doesn't ride good with her, then so be it. She got to deal with it. So in the same vein, if my wife says to me, or if a woman says to me, Dyson, I would feel that you love me if you buy me flowers. And I say, but I don't listen, so I go out and buy chocolates, right? So yeah, right. So you're saying now that means I don't love her because I didn't listen and get the flowers. I got the chocolates.
No, that boils
no,
down to just do what I
not,
tell
not
you.
necessarily. Not necessarily.
That's what it boils
That's
down
how
to.
no, that's how I feel. You say that straight up like that, but a lot of times that's how
That's how it feels.
I feel. Like I'm being told what to do. I
What to
don't
do?
want to buy flowers. Flowers ain't my thing. Why I gotta do it? But Ken is saying, and some women agree. Just listen. So I don't know, one. Me and you, we got some work to do, I guess.
I got no work to do, brother. I'm good. I got no work to do.
My final point is for all the women out there. I believe in my individuality. I am in my sincere self. I want the best for the people I care about.
Yeah.
And when I do things, I do it out of love. And when I start to listen, like Ken said, and I start doing the things that you want me to do, I'm not doing that out of love. I'm in my robotic self now and just doing what you say. Now, and so you may feel love, but in actuality, that's not the love. What you get from me naturally and organically is the love. And I feel like the sexes or people in committed relationships would need to understand that and try to value what you get as well as what you give, and vice versa, because the spin of it gets very, very complicated. It gets extremely complicated. um and I believe it's an ongoing thing. Like Ken said, it continues to change. So my last word is stay open to change, y'all. And also to try to show some gratitude, because the Bible say in all things give thanks. Yeah. And look at me ending it on a Bible voice on a Sunday. Well, I'm Dyson Knight, international recording artist, y'all. This is the Sup'm Show. Dr. Ken Bazard, you want to say something? Yeah. Juan,
Hey,
you want to say something?
this is my final word. My wife rocks.
Boom. You get to sleep inside the house tonight.
Yeah. He's
You,
about to go on the couch in a minute.
he might, as I say, inside the house. I say in the room.
My
Feel like you
final
think you
words.
slick wearing this shirt.
My
Couch for you.
final words probably would be on love in general. It's simple, man. Stop overcomplicating things. You know,
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
tend to overcomplicate things so much to the point that it brings unnecessary problems into a relationship. You know, and don't get
Yeah.
me wrong, ladies in the comment section. I may talk my shit, You know what I mean? Because I like to get under people's skin. But I'm true for what I'm saying. I really do believe what I say. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's not complicated, man. Like, you know, we men, we show love in different ways. We're not females. You
Yeah.
understand? We're not going to do things all the time in a romantic fashion. But we do things, you know, on a regular basis for y'all. And just
Yeah.
because we don't present it in a lovingly way all the time, does not mean that I don't come from a place of love. Does that make sense? So, like Dyson says, he don't have to buy you flowers, Wendy. He may just bring you chocolate. Does it really matter? The problem is, I mean, he loves you. That's what the issue should be.
That's the bottom line.
Now, if he
Real
bring you
love.
a bag of dirt, that's a whole different story. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, let's just stop overcomplicating things. Simplify the whole word, LOVE, and go from there. Simple as that.
Just,
All right.
I
So
want to
y'all
quote, I
know.
want to quote one. If I could quote one before we go, something that you said when we're talking about marriage, a point that we raised. Everything, pretty much everything on this earth you see men do is for women. Pretty much everything you see us do is
Fox.
for women. When I buy parts for my car, that's for you, Fee.
Hey,
That's
I
for my
believe
wife.
that. That's exactly you.
Everything we do is for you.
Nothing like hearing the broom broom and then the woman hear
Yeah,
the
the
vroom,
car
vroom,
gotta
and you
rev
get
up.
feel the car, get a little thing, you know?
Yeah, it's got to be loud.
It's
So when the girls
yes.
calling me, I can't hear them when
Can't
they're
hear them
calling me.
right.
So it
Yes,
has to be
yes.
loud. Everything is for you.
All right. Everything I do it for you. Gents, thank y'all so much, man. I think it was another great show, great hot topic. I can't wait to go through these comments and see what's going on inside these people's minds. The Sup'm Show, 6:30 every Sunday. One knows Dr. Kent Bazard and yo, Dyson Knight. Good night,
Yeah.
y'all. Peace.
Yep.